Hello and welcome to video 3 or C of Eton Driving School's introduction to the test area covered by Slough Driving Test Centre. As I said in the previous ones, this isn't a test route. There are many test routes that can be used, have been used in the past, can be used in the future, that it would be ridiculous to try and show you them all, and it would also lead you possibly to misconception that you would use one of those on your test, because we've absolutely no idea which one the examiner is going to choose or which route they're going to take or when they're going to change those routes. But we do know roughly the area which these tests are confined in, and they are controlled by factors like the time that is permitted for the test, which is 40 minutes. So wherever the examiner is going to take you, he needs to be able to get back to the test centre in time, because that's what they need to do, because there will be another test after yours, and that does need to happen on time. So we're going to look at some of the roads, some of the junctions that can happen on your test. So we've got a different car to the one we used last time, because my car's been replaced, but for the purpose of this video it's not going to make any difference at all. We're starting from Slough Test Centre because today is the 24th of February 2021, and there are no tests currently taking place because of COVID-19. So I'm starting this from the test centre. So I'm in a parking bay with the test centre behind me, where one of the spaces you are likely to be using at the start of your test. So I'm going to have a good look round to make sure before I pull away that I'm not going to bump into anybody. It's the last thing you want to happen on the start of your test, and I am going to pull away. If this was your test, you would have been already explained by the examiner what's going to happen, though you should already know because your instructor should have fully explained, and you may have already been asked one of your tell me questions. Okay, no, sorry, do apologise, you will be asked one of your tell me questions before the car pulls away. I'm waiting to get out the car park. Road's clear, so off I go. And the first junction, proper junction, is in front of you now, which is a set of traffic lights, and for this one we're going to turn right. So I'm approaching, I'm in the right hand lane. You'll notice that the lanes are clearly defined, which one is left and which one is right. On this occasion I have chosen not to put my right hand indicator on. You'll also notice the van in front of me has done the same thing. I'm in the lane to turn right. So unnecessary, though not wrong. If you wish to have your right hand indicator on now, it would not be wrong. What would change my mind if roughly where the van is, roughly here, if there was someone waiting to cross the road, I would probably use my indicator to tell them that I was coming in this direction. So zebra crossing in front of me. To the left there's a footpath, so you have to be careful at this zebra crossing that a cycle's not coming down that footpath wanting to cross the road. Remember, even if they make a mistake and go without looking, your responsibility as the driver to keep the situation safe. Coming up on Langley College, and we've got a 20-mile-an-hour zone, so I've reduced my speed. I did check my rear view mirror before I reduced my speed, and as you can see there is a zebra crossing in front of me, and again I'm checking to make sure no one's wanting to cross. We've got a junction in front of us. This used to be a roundabout. It's now a set of traffic lights, and I wish to turn right. I put my indicator on this occasion because I want everybody to know where I'm going, and I've got a filter light, so that means I can go, and the Mercedes in front of me has got a red light. I would not get that green filter light unless the car coming from ahead of me, which was the Mercedes, did not have a red light to stop it from going. Still in a 20-mile-an-hour zone, Reminder there on the left hand side, and we're coming up on a zebra crossing and a roundabout. I'm checking my mirrors to see if there's anybody behind me, and my actions might affect them. Nobody's crossing the road. I'm in second gear. I'm checking out the roundabout. I'm going to follow the road ahead. The car on the left is waiting for me. That's what needs to happen at a roundabout. And another zebra crossing. Clear, but so I can go. Following the road ahead, building my speed up. Those observant of you would have noticed that we've moved into a 30-mile-an-hour zone. So I'm currently doing 27. It's sufficient. I've got someone crossing the road. I've got a bend in front of me. I've got a crossing. No point in me rushing up to 30 miles an hour because things could change. Though I don't want to be travelling too slow. So again, I'm doing 28 at the moment. Keeping my eye out. There's an island place where people can cross. I've got another set of traffic lights, which is another crossing. A fair few crossings here, and that's because the school was just on the left. I've got a reminder on the left telling me it's 30 miles an hour, and there's a speed camera on the right to ensure that people are staying within the speed limit. We've got an island here that seems to be damaged with some cones on it. Okay, looks all safely contained at the moment. I'm going to take the next turning on the right, checking my mirrors, putting the right hand indicator on, approaching the junction, and I'm just waiting for the vehicles approaching me. You can't see in the camera, but I'm checking out the road I'm about to move into to make sure it's clear. What I don't want to do is cross this road halfway and then stop blocking the traffic on the major road. So you need to check out the road you're going into to make sure it's clear. So I travel down here, still in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and we've got a sharp left-hand turn ahead of us. As I get closer, I can see that it's sharper than maybe I thought, so I'm dropping it into second gear, going around reasonably slow. This is a built-up area. There may be good reason why cars can't stay on their side of the road. There might have been parked cars, all sorts of reasons. So you need to be aware that you might have to do something. Now, I've got a situation up front, rather an unusual situation, where we seem to have cyclists coming up on my left hand side and overtaking me. We have got a vehicle that is delivering a skip and who's moved right the way across the road. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm looking to see if I can safely get round them. You're not supposed to drive on the pavement, but on this occasion I am going to, but I'm going to take care. You'll notice that I'm going really slow, okay, and I'm looking for those pedestrians, and I'm not making any assumptions. As I've cleared the obstruction, I'm building up my speed. Would you do that in your test? Difficult one, that is. It's all about staying safe. Okay, it's clearly a major obstruction. Okay, and to wait could take a long time. So I would say, in my opinion, that to move round safely with good observation is not a major issue. As we follow down here, coming up to the end of the road, there's a give way in front of me. No signs, but there is paint telling me, and I'm going to be turning right and then immediately left. I'm going to move my way up to the give way line, and you can't see it, but my observation to the left is obscured. The right is okay, so I'm going to do a creep and peep here, looking, and yes, it's safe, so I'm going to go. Immediately having to turn right, left hand indicator on. There are parked cars in the new road, so I am going round at the appropriate speed, making sure that it's clear. Building up my speed, still in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. I know that by road signs, but also there are street lights on this road. And remember, street lights, it's 30 miles an hour unless told otherwise. Follow the road round, okay, rather bendy road. This is a popular road in your test where a manoeuvre could be asked to be done, and it's normally the pull up on the right and reverse 2 car lengths, and when it's safe to do so, move it off. It is also a popular road that could be used in your test for your emergency stop. Of course, you should be practicing that many times before you go for test. Modern cars, an emergency stop isn't really an issue. It's about reaction times. Modern cars have ABS, And if you've got older members of the family that drive, talk to them about when they took their test in cars. We're going to take the next turning on the left. On cars without ABS, emergency stop was a skill, because we had to stop the car from skidding. But we have features nowadays that stop you from doing that. Moving into the new road, we've got a situation where there's only room for one car, so I'm looking a long way down this road, making sure there's nothing coming towards me. And I'm really lucky on this occasion, there is nothing coming towards me. But there are places on the left that you can clearly see that if I needed to, I could pull in and allow traffic to get past. Remember, I'm the one on the wrong side of the road, so therefore it is my job to give way unless I'm not able to. What do I mean by not able to? So let's assume now I'm on the wrong side of the road and there is nowhere for me to pull up on the left. There is on this occasion, but if there was nowhere for me to pull up on the left, then it would have to be the vehicle coming towards me that would have to give way. I'm going to turn left at the end of this road. This is quite a challenging junction because visibility isn't great, and as you can see there are cars parked on the opposite side of the road, so that vehicles coming from the left are going to be on the part of the road that you want to use, so you need to do full observation. I should not be surprised to see cars coming from the left on my side of the road in those situations. It is clear that that's going to be the case. I'm coming up to a bridge. It's a narrow bridge, it's got a set of traffic lights, they're changing to red on me. Obviously the first colour was amber, and here we go, that's a very interesting one here. That is a situation where these traffic lights have sensors, and the sensor picked me up that I was approaching. Now there is a car waiting, but I can imagine that that's just arrived, and I was the first to arrive at the traffic light, so it changed for me to go green. And it's quite common, but it's important to remember that you have to drive over the sensor for the car to recognise me, or that the camera that is the sensor recognises me. So talk to your instructor about traffic light sensors. Okay, some are under the road and you can see those, some are either radar or cameras that recognise a vehicle approaching. A bit of a country road here, not very wide. You'll notice that I'm leaving quite a gap on the left hand side here. I don't want to be brushing these cars. I've got a brand new car, all got flooded water, so I've slowed down. Okay, that's it. So you've always got to be ready for what's around that corner. Wasn't expecting that. We have had rain, but none that's recently, so that's been sitting there for some time. And at the end of the road I'm going to be turning left, checking my mirrors as I approach the junction and slow down, and visibility to the left isn't very good, so I'm going to come to a standstill. I'm going to wait for traffic clear on the left, and then I'm going to do a creep and peep, move forward and turn left. Got some parked cars. That car moved into the road, and that's because there's a delivery van. Okay, visibility ahead isn't very good, so I've slowed down, having a look. It's clear, so off I go. I did check my right hand mirror before I pulled out there to make sure that there was nobody trying to overtake me as I went round that delivery van. Warning triangle on the right, warning me about the road getting narrower, and there it is, what we've got. And then we call these a chicane. Okay, you can see by the sign that I have right of way. I've checked my right hand mirror again because I've moved out across the road. I do not want to be knocking over cyclists or motorcyclists that might be on my right hand side, but that could also include a car on occasions. So always check that right hand mirror before you move across the carriageway. Following the road ahead, I've got long lines and short gaps on these white lines down the centre of the road. They're telling me that there are hazards about. And on this occasion, the hazard is that I can't see around the corner. Warning triangle telling me about a narrowing of the road, and I can see clearly it's another chicane. I've got right of way. I'm checking the right hand mirror. It's clear. I've got right of way, so off I go. I'm going to be turning left now, and interestingly I've got a sign warning me about the new road I'm going to go into, and it's telling me that there's a width restriction. Alright, and we'll see that as we go around the corner. It is important not to be surprised by something you've been warned about, and And as we go around the corner, you can see there's our width restriction. Okay, so through I go. Okay, and again, got a warning triangle, playground around, road narrows from the left this time, a chicane. I've got right of way, going to move across the road, so I'm checking that right hand mirror. Off I go. Another warning sign telling me about speed bumps. Okay, and now I've got cars parked on my side of the road, so again I'm checking that right hand mirror, making sure that there is nobody trying to overtake me, moving across the road to safely go around these cars. And I've got another chicane where this time oncoming traffic has got right of way, checking that right hand mirror, moving across. And now I'm going to overtake these parked cars at the same time. I'm following the road ahead. Warning triangle just coming up, telling me that there are traffic lights around the corner. Okay, also warning me about humps, but I must admit they went a long time ago, so an out-of-date sign there. And I want to turn left at these traffic lights. There is space after the keep clear, so I'm going to take it and I'm going to wait at the white line until the traffic lights are green for me. I've placed the handbrake on, I've put it in neutral, and I'm just relaxing, waiting, excuse me, waiting for the lights to change. Now, traffic on the other side of the road has got permission to go, so it suggests to me that the lights are going to change. So I'm going to clutch down and I'm going to put it into first gear. And there's our lights. Checking my left and right mirror before I as I pull away. Before I pull away, doesn't matter as long as I check them. Moving into what is a dual carriageway. New speed limit 40 miles an hour, and I've got a blue and red circle sign on the left. That 40, by the way, is for traffic joining here, telling them that they moved out of a 30 into a 40. But that blue circle with a red background and a red cross is telling me that I can't stop, park or wait on this road. Another warning triangle telling me that there's traffic lights ahead, and those traffic lights I want to turn right, so I'm checking my right hand mirror. It's clear to move across, so I'm moving to lane 2, ready for when I approach the traffic lights. And as you can see that I have got a dedicated lane to turn right, so as I get to it I'm going to move into the right hand lane, the same place that the car in front is moving into. Red light for me turning right, but there's a green light for any traffic turning left or following the road ahead. Now I've got a green light, so I'm checking out the road I'm moving into. I want to know that I can safely get into that road, because I don't want to stop and block the major road. Change of speed limit. Warning circle telling me that if I was in a vehicle over 7.5 tonne, I can't access this road. We're not, we're in a car, so it doesn't affect us. I'm waiting for the car to coming towards us. Checking my right hand mirror to see it's safe for me to move across the road. It is, so off I go. And I'm giving a little bit of extra space for these cars on the left hand side. There isn't room for 2 cars to pass. There's nothing coming towards me, so there's no point in me hugging these cars on the left. It enables me to build my speed up to the speed limit, which is 30 miles an hour, which means I can pass all these obstructions on the left quicker and then safely get back on my side of the road. Now obviously if there was a vehicle coming towards me, I would be looking for a safe place to pull up on the left and allow them to go past, but it wasn't, so I used the road and I make progress. Following the road around the corner, car parked on the right, just got in there, making sure I don't pull off, and checking my right hand mirror to make sure it's safe to move over. It's all clear, so off I go. That van did put its reversing lights on, but I could safely get round them without me affecting them or them affecting me. Again, I've got parked cars on the left. I'm checking my mirrors, especially that right hand mirror, checking it, moving over across the road. There's a vehicle coming towards me, but I have an opportunity to move over, and that's where the white car is, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, and then we're going to pass, and then again I'm going to get away from these parked cars. At the end of the road I'm going to turn left. A give way sign, I've got to give way. As I approach, you won't be able to see, but visibility is good, and I can see that I don't need to stop. Roundabout ahead of me, I'm going to turn right. Can't put my indicator on yet because there's a vehicle waiting to pull in. I don't want them to think I'm turning right there. but now I've gone past it, I can indicate it. Checking to the right. Not interested in the traffic coming from the left, certainly not yet. As I enter the roundabout, I just want to make sure that anybody entering the roundabout is waiting for me. There wasn't anybody there, but I wasn't doing that before I entered the roundabout. It's very easy to get confused about who you give way to. So just concentrate on the right as you enter, and do that safety check to the left once you're on the roundabout. People should stop, they will stop. It's very rare that they don't. Traffic lights ahead, it's a crossing. Got a number of people on the right hand side on the footpath, but they are well away from the road. There is a grass verge between me and them, so I can be confident that they're not going to turn into what is known as developing hazards. Roundabout in front of me. Okay, this roundabout, in your test, you could be asked to turn right. It's unlikely you're going to be asked to turn left, or you may be asked to follow the road ahead, which I'm going to do. It's a follow road ahead, so therefore there are no road markings, so I take the left hand lane. Okay, I'm checking to the right. On this occasion I've got to stop. Remember the rule, right hand lanes for turning right unless told otherwise. And this can be quite a challenging roundabout, but you take your time and you take the safe gap, and there's my safe gap, and I can pull off, staying to the left on the roundabout, which delivers me in the right place to leave the roundabout at the second exit. I've got cars parked on the right hand side. It does look like there's room for both of us. I'm not going to speed up to pass these cars, but I'm just going to maintain my speed. Speed limit's 40 miles an hour. I've got a hospital on my right, it's Wexham Park Hospital, and there is a zebra crossing in front of me. I'm checking for pedestrians. I'm also checking my rear view mirror, and I've got a parked car, so I'm going to check my right hand mirror before I drive across the carriageway to get round it. There is our hospital sign, and it's a sign that says A&E, and then building up my speed, 40 miles an hour, doing 36. I'm comfortable doing this. Got to 38, 39. I'm just going to sit there. There's no point in me going any faster. I could make it to 40, but neither here nor there. Got a larger vehicle coming towards me now, so I'm checking out the road. It does look wide enough, so that's fine. Okay, you notice he needs a little bit more room than the cars, but he did stay on his side of the road, so that was my clue that there wasn't going to be an issue with us passing. There's a big pothole there. Okay, didn't spot it early enough to miss it. And now we're moving into 30 mile an hour zone. I've checked my rear view mirrors and I've slowed down. Remember, it's 30 at the sign, not after the sign. Following the road ahead, pub on the left, closed at the moment due to lockdown, but depending on the time of day, you've got to be careful with pubs. By very nature of what they are, people go there for drinking. Drinking can affect people's judgment. So again, don't be surprised if there are people that take risks crossing the road around a pub. They shouldn't, but we all have probably been there where we've misjudged things because of the influence of alcohol. As always, it's our job as the driver to keep everything safe, and to expect things in certain situations that you're well aware of. It's not been a very good driver. Just change the speed to 40, check to my rear view mirrors, making sure that nobody is overtaking me as I build up my speed. And as I follow this road, van approaching from the left, it would be very easy to have misread that van wasn't going to stop. It was. Okay, it was clear they were slowing down. And you can't see it, but if I'd have put brakes on there, there's a risk that the two vehicles behind me wouldn't have been expecting it and could have run into the back of me. So it's very important to understand who has right of way and what other vehicles are doing. Following the road ahead, bit of a rural road here, but plenty wide enough. Got a warning triangle coming up, warning me that there may be horses and riders about. That could also include horses being led by a human, as opposed to it showing a horse without a rider. In other words, horses running free or wild. Okay, coming up to my left hand turn, a couple of warning triangles here, repeated a horse and telling me about the junction I want to turn right, checking my mirrors, then my right hand indicator on, slowing down as I approach the junction, nothing coming towards me, checking out the new road I want to go into. It's nice and clear, so I'm going to go in. Now I've got a van on the left, doesn't look like a drive, so I'm going to give him a bit of room just in case I open that door. I do not want someone to be distracted and open the door on me. Very easy to say it's their fault, but I just don't want to be involved in that accident. Following the road ahead, we just had a warning triangle warning us about a double bend, and there it was. Okay, and then onto a fairly straight section of road, 40 miles an hour, so there's no reason for me not to get to 40. Good visibility. Okay, I don't want to be holding traffic up unnecessarily, but I'm always keeping my eye open, not only on the road ahead, but seeing what the traffic behind me is doing. On this occasion, I've got a van behind me. It's not too close, safe distance, so I haven't got anything to worry about. I've got two warning triangles on the right and a repeat to tell me it's 40 miles an hour. Warning me that there's a turning on the right and a double bend. Again, I'm checking my mirrors to see if my actions are going to affect any other road user. I'm going to move out on the road here because of that puddle. I don't want to drive through it unnecessarily. Didn't have time to explain to you what I did just before moving out into the centre of the road there, but I'll just tell you, I checked my right hand mirror to make sure no one was overtaking me. Obviously, of course, I also checked that there was nothing coming towards me. If there was and I couldn't have moved out into the road, I would have slowed down. Do not want to go through a puddle at speed. It can cause all sorts of problems. One, that puddle looked particularly muddy, and you'd expect it on a road like this. So therefore, there's a good chance that that dirty water could have landed on the windscreen, causing me visual problems. Also, going through puddles at speeds can mean that you lose control of the car, and also we don't want all that water getting in underneath the car unnecessarily. Two warning triangles, slightly hidden there, but telling us about a turning on the left and a bend in the road. That's what the black and white signs in front of us are telling us. So I've adjusted my speed to safely go round. Remember, if you're told more than once about the same hazard, in that case the bend, will more than likely be because it will be more of a bend than maybe you're expecting. Change your speed to 30 miles an hour. Okay, and now we're coming up on Pinewood Studios. That's going to appear on our left and our right. Got a warning of a roundabout coming up. Okay, so I'm checking my rear view mirror. It's letting the car slow down by itself naturally. There's plenty of room for me to do that. Popped it in the appropriate gear. White cars going across in front of me, but the rest of them are going straight ahead, so I can now enter the roundabout. 2 lanes on approach, so there's 2 lanes on the roundabout, so I've stayed on the left, and there is a crossing. Person approaching from the right, but they haven't had an opportunity to press the button, so that means I can go. Another roundabout approaching, and we're moving into a 40 mile an hour zone. Obviously that's telling me after the roundabout, not before. Nice and clear, so I can enter the roundabout. On that occasion there was only 1 lane on approach, so it's fair to assume there's only 1 lane on the roundabout. Though not always the case. Always look to see any paint on the road that would give you a clue about any rules that are for that roundabout. Lorry coming towards me, but clearly on their side of the road, so there was room for me to pass without any issues. 40 mile an hour zone. I'm doing 35, but that's because the car in front of me wasn't going at 40 and I didn't need to speed up and catch that vehicle up. I'm just staying at the same speed. Change to 50, and again the speed of the vehicle in front hasn't changed. There's no need for me to change my speed. Temporary warning triangle telling me about roadworks, now telling me about traffic lights. Okay, so I've got my eyes open, I've checked the rear view mirror. Another warning triangle telling me that the traffic, that that the road is narrowing from the right. Okay, with the information about traffic lights, that's telling me that there's only room for 1 car. past this width restriction, so that's why the traffic lights are there. They're staying green. I'm checking my right hand mirror, moving across the carriageway to get around the traffic lights, then back on my side of the road to go past the roadworks. Moderated my speed. There doesn't seem to be any workmen about, but you always need to look for that. And I'm approaching a roundabout. Change of speed to 40 miles an hour, and I want to follow the road sign to Slough there. As you can see, that is the 4th exit on the right, so right hand indicator goes on. As I approach the roundabout, I'm going to move to the right hand side, staying close to the island. Okay, clear, entering the roundabout, didn't need to stop on that occasion. Indicators on, telling everybody where I'm going. I'm staying to the right, staying to the right. That was the last exit on the left. I want the next one. Okay, so I'm checking my left hand mirror this time, changing my indicator and entering the new road. I'm stopped from using the left hand lane here because of the white markings, but it's changed now. So again, I'm checking my right hand mirror, checking it's safe to do so, and moving over to the left hand lane. Didn't use my indicator on that occasion. That was because my observation showed me that there was nobody that needed the information. If there was someone who was on the left hand side that could have moved up on the left, then I would have put that left hand indicator on to make it absolutely clear that I'm moving over to the left. As we watch the road ahead, 60 miles an hour. I'm only doing 50 because that's what speed the black car. In fact, it's going a bit slower, so I'm slowing down. The van has actually got his beacons still flashing. I think they've left them on, and I want to go faster than this black car, so I'm checking it's safe to do so, checking my mirrors, putting my indicator on just enough to let everybody know I'm moving over, safely going around this car, and once it's safe to do so, I'm going to move back to the left hand lane. There we go, safely negotiated. Following the road ahead, 60 mile an hour road. Car in front's doing 51, 52. I've got no interest in going any faster on this occasion. I'm quite familiar with this road, and as you can see, there are change of speed signs coming up. Checking my mirrors, I see that it's 40. I'm allowing the car to slow down under its own effort, but on this occasion I need a very, very slight touch of the brakes to get it down to 40 when I get to the sign. Following the road ahead, there is a turning to the left, and maintaining my 40 miles an hour. I can see the road ahead. I've got some traffic lights, and you can also see that there's vehicles stopped in a queue, but they've just moved off. Still doing 40 miles an hour. Now those lights could change on me, so I'm ready. So I'm checking my rear view mirror to see where the vehicles are behind me, but they've stayed green, so off I'm going to go. Dual carriageway. If I wasn't told otherwise, speed limit for me would be 70 miles an hour, but on this occasion we are told it's 40. The vehicle in front of me going slower than me. He's moved over to the right because the vehicle in front of him is moving slow. It's a loaded vehicle. I'm checking my mirrors, I'm indicating, checking my right hand mirror and moving over. This vehicle is clearly loaded and struggling, but the silver car hasn't moved off. That's because there are traffic lights in front of us. So just going to slow down for the traffic lights, keeping a safe distance between me and the car in front. I am in the right hand lane, but that's because I want to overtake these slower moving vehicles in front, so there's no reason for me not to be here. Traffic lights clearly show that anybody who wants to turn left or follow the road ahead can go. And there we go, overtaking the yellow lorry, but I don't think I'm going to get a chance to overtake the white lorry, so I'm going to move back into the left hand lane. Again, there wasn't any reason for me to put that left hand indicator on. The vehicle that I'd just overtaken was going clearly slower than me, so I didn't interfere with their journey. It wouldn't hurt to put your indicator on, it's not wrong. I just felt on that occasion it wasn't necessary. We're only actually doing 30 miles an hour now. I that's because that's what the traffic is doing in front. It is a 40 mile an hour zone, but we have to drive the speed that is relevant to the road we're travelling on. And if the traffic in front of me is doing 30, then that's the speed I should be doing. Traffic lights are red, so I'm going to slow down. The lorry in front of me is slowed down. And staying back from the lorry, my visibility around that lorry is extremely limited because of the size of it. And the closer I get, and I'll demonstrate that now, the closer I get to that lorry, the less of a view I get. But if I hang back a little bit, I get a better view of what's going on in front of it. It means I am more informed. I'm aware that traffic might be slowing down earlier, and I can take action. We've got temporary roadworks on the left. They're out of my carriageway, so not an issue for me. The road to the left is closed. I'm not going down there, so it's not an issue. But we have got a roundabout in front of us, and we're turning right. So we're going to follow the road signs here for Maidenhead. Now you'll notice that I haven't immediately gone into the right-hand lane. That's because I know this roundabout, okay? And it is a roundabout that you should be fairly familiar with before you go for a test at Slough. It's unusual in as much as there are going to be two lanes that can turn right. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the middle lane as it approaches. I'm checking my right-hand mirror, okay? And I'm just going to slow down so you can see the paint on the road here, okay? We've got a sign there, and it says that A4 West, and that's towards Maidenhead, so I can do the third exit from this lane. You might be able to just make out underneath the lorry on the right that they've got the same sign, okay? In fact, this lane can go in two directions, and when the van pulls away you'll be able to see, okay, we've got the A412, and clearly the arrow says that we've got an option. So, and this is where we've got the option. We could have gone where the van's gone, which is the A412. We want the A4 West, so we've taken the middle lane. So also the right hand lane can do the same thing. I'm going to stay in my lane, follow it round, okay, and both of these lanes are going to be able to take the A4 West, because the A4 West is two lanes. It become obvious why on this occasion I wanted to be in the left hand lane, apart from the fact this is where we should be unless we specifically want to be in the right hand lane. But as we turn into the A4 heading towards Maidenhead, you are likely to be asked to take the second exit on the left. And if you're currently where the white VW Golf is, the chances are you won't be able to get over to the left-hand lane earlier enough to take that exit. Of course, going the wrong way isn't a failure, okay? All it will mean is your examiner will take you, follow the road ahead, and will know how to get you back on route or take you another route. So we're going to turn left, wait till I've gone past that junction, and then I'm going to put my indicator on. Okay. Currently on a dual carriageway, the left, we've got a warning triangle telling me that this road now is two ways, and we are heading towards the east end of Slough High Street. I've got a vehicle parked on the pavement on the left. I'm keeping an eye on them. Check my right hand mirror before I move over. And I know that they've seen me. They have. I just saw them look at me. Probably not easily seen on the camera. I'm going to turn right. Alright, I can see from this blue sign that the road on my left is a one-way street, so nobody should be coming down here. But cyclists could choose to ignore that rule, so I'm checking. But if you look at the camera, you'll see there is actually evidence that there's a cycle lane, so we can get people in that gap there come out in a cycle. So cars parked on the left and the right, a lot of activity going on, keeping my speed down. I'm using my mirrors, got an opportunity to move across the road safely. I'm not going fast. Shops left and right. We're currently in lockdown, so it's actually quite quiet down this road today. but you can imagine under normal circumstances on a Wednesday this is going to be extremely busy. We have to turn right. Okay, there's a zebra crossing, it's clear for me to go, but there is a car parked there, which is causing me another problem. Slowed down, stopped, moving over, checked my right hand mirror again. I'm going slow enough that could have easily been a cyclist. I'm going to wait for the van. You see the front of the van pulled out there, so I'm going to allow him to finish his manoeuvre. Again, no reason for me to be too close to these cars parked on the left, so I'm giving them plenty of room. Checking my mirrors, not exactly clear what the road's doing ahead. Got a warning triangle telling me there's a roundabout. I want to follow the road ahead, second exit. That's confusing. Second exit looks like it's a right hand turn, but oh wait a minute, there is another exit on the left. So always don't assume. The car coming towards me has correctly pulled over to allow me to go. Alright, following the road ahead. Next car's decided to make way towards me, so I'm just going to slow down, allow him to. We've got a roundabout in front of us, and I want to take that exit that says Upton Court Park. It's a left-hand turn, so I'm going to be on the left-hand lane on approach. Remember, right-hand lanes for turning right unless you're told otherwise. As I approach, I'm checking out the lanes ahead of me, and it can clearly see that I want to be in the left-hand lane as I enter the roundabout. Checking the right hand to the right, it's clear for me to go, so I'm going to stay on the left-hand lane. Okay, and that is going to take me to the exit I need for Upton Court Park. There we go. Following the road ahead, still in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. I've got a repeat sign to warn me just coming up. I've also got a warning triangle. It's slightly to an angle there, but I can clearly see it's warning me about a school. It's a school on the right-hand side. Okay. What we've got coming up is we've got the car park for Upton Court Park on the right-hand side. I'm not going to go into it today, but that is a popular car park that is used on your test for one of your manoeuvres. So you could be asked to do your forward bay park left or right, or your reverse bay park left or right. Coming up here, we're going to take the next turning on the left. I'm checking my mirrors. The vehicle's behind me a safe distance. I'm going to warn them. I'm going to slow down by putting the indicator on, and there it is, starting to slow down into the appropriate gear, checking my mirrors, checking the new road I want to go into. It's nice and clear, and off I go. This estate here was also a very popular place for a manoeuvre. Again, you could be asked to do your emergency stop in one of these roads, or you could be asked to do your parallel park or your pull up on the right, reverse 2 car lengths, and then pull away when it's safe to do so. I'm in the middle of the road here, okay, just to make sure that I safely negotiate the parked cars. There's nothing coming towards me, so I can still maintain the centre of the road. There's no reason to be weaving up and down, in and out, going down this road, and at the end of the road I want to turn right. Now there's another clue about the road I'm just about to enter. There is a parked car on the opposite side of the road, so there's a good chance that I'm going to need to maintain the wrong side of the road to negotiate this junction. So I'm checking left and right. It's clear to go. On this occasion that was the last parked car on the left, so I can get back on my side of the road. But use these visual clues. Parked car, checking my right hand mirror, moving over to go round. And then I want to take the next turning on the left. Now that car looks parked very close to the corner. Checking my mirrors. I'm going to use my indicators on this occasion because I'm going to move out into the road to turn left to go around this parked car. I can see there's parked cars in this road, so I'm going to expect vehicles to be coming down that road on my side of the road. It's clear, so off I go. Again, narrow, checking my mirrors, making sure it's safe to do so. And I've got a car ahead of me with the door open. It is open on the footpath side, but that means there are people getting in and out of cars, so I'm just aware of it. Okay, looking to make sure none of the other doors open. Again, I've got parked cars on my side, checking my right hand mirror. Safe to do so. I'm moving over, and at the end of the road I want to turn left. Approaching, checking out, see if it's safe to do so, and off I go. And then at the traffic lights ahead, I want to turn right to go towards Langley and Ivor. Checking my mirrors, my right hand indicator on. I can clearly see there's a lane dedicated for me to turn right, so I'm making my way over there. And you can see that this is a yellow box junction. Now I'm the first car to arrive, so I can enter the box and wait in the box to turn right. If I was the second vehicle, I'd have to wait behind the white line. I'm waiting for it safe for me to move over. There are two lanes coming towards me, so I need to make sure that both of them are clear. Lights are changing and I've got the gap, so it means that I can go. Even though the lights had turned red before I went to move off, the very fact that I was already in the junction meant that I could finish my journey. Once you've crossed the white line, you must finish your journey. That is why only one vehicle is allowed to wait in that junction. At this point in your test, it is likely that you are towards the end of your test and you are heading back towards the test centre. If you do recognise you're heading back towards the test centre, don't relax and take your eye off the ball. You are still on your test. Make sure that you're carrying out your observation and you're driving appropriately for the conditions. Now you could drive down this road every day of the week, and every journey is likely to be slightly different. This time we've got someone indicating left. What are they indicating left for? Looks like they're stopping at the shop. I'm checking the right hand mirror to make sure it's safe to do so. I just gave that car plenty of room to do what they were going to do. Didn't get close behind them because I didn't want them to do anything sudden that was going to cause me to slam on the brakes, or worse, run into the back of them. And following the road ahead, we've got a warning triangle on the left, a bit faded, but I still clearly can see that it's warning me about children about. In that case, it was patrol, so it's telling me that there is likely to be a lollipop person around helping children or young people cross the road close to a school. Traffic lights ahead of us. Got a hatched area next to us on the right. This is to keep cars further away from each other, just to keep the situation safe. So I'm just reduce my speed there a little bit because the road got narrower and I wanted to make sure that I remained safe, but I built my speed up again now. Just past a set of crossings. There's nobody waiting. They were green. Okay, I did check my mirrors before I approached, but we've got a van parked on the left. Checking my mirrors, we've got a van pulling out in front of me, so I slowed down. Checking my mirror again, especially that right hand mirror. Got a workman on the left hand side, just closed the door in his van, had my eye on him. I was looking for him because I did see the door was open. Zebra crossing, roundabout, zebra crossing, a busy junction here, and I moved into a 20-mile-an-hour zone. I hope you spotted all those signs. Okay, checking it's safe to get on the roundabout, going around the roundabout. Again, zebra crossing, checking to make sure it's safe, remembering that I'm now in a 20-mile-an-hour zone. The last thing you want to do is this close to the test centre have missed that 20-mile-an-hour sign and be in danger of breaking the speed limit, which could seriously affect the result of your test. Coming up here, road sign on the left. Okay, we're following the road sign towards the station, railway station, which is a left-hand turn. I don't know if you can see ahead of you, we've got a lane dedicated for left-hand turn coming up, but it's not yet. And a set of traffic lights. We passed this junction just at the beginning when we left the test centre. This is the junction that used to be a roundabout, but is now traffic lights. Now, very interesting. Don't get caught out like the white car that's turning right there. They shouldn't have entered because they are now blocking traffic. If those traffic lights change, they are blocking traffic. And if that was your test, you would fail at that point. Okay, So regardless of what the traffic lights say, you mustn't proceed unless you can clear the junction. Same goes for that box junction we came to earlier. If you can clearly see that the road you're entering is blocked, you don't enter the box junction, because you've got nowhere to go and all you're going to do is block traffic. Zebra crossing, checking left and right. Okay, I want to turn left after the bridge, so I'm going to indicate now, adjusting my speed. Got a dedicated lane for turning left, and these traffic lights are not for me. I have a giveaway in front of me, so I'm going to be checking to the right it's clear so I can enter the new road, checking the new road to see it's safe. Okay, and at this point you could be, this is getting very close to the end of your test, you could be asked to turn right into the test centre, or you could be asked to pull up on the left here. Obviously do your observation, follow the instructions that you're given by the examiner, bring the car to a standstill. You'll be then asked by the examiner to make the car safe or apply the handbrake, pop it in neutral, turn the engine off, and that's the end of your test. Like I said, that is the third in a series of videos I'm doing about Slough Test Area. Okay, not a test route, but a drive that includes many of the roads and junctions that can happen on your test. You've got your test coming up soon. Wish you all the best of luck, and look out for my next video.